Hey, Queen. Hey, Queen. Hello, darlings. Inhlikani. Good afternoon. Welcome to the I Am She series. I'm surrounded by all this wonderful feminine energy. The three sisters are here with me. They're not in frame because on a beanbag one can only do so much. But I just thought, oh, look at all this nice feminine energy. Hey, just chilling with us here. Hey. That song, Hey Queen, by Beautiful Chorus, please check it out. Every time I try to copy, to add the sound of the music, it just, they're not on the, in the music catalog. So, hey Queen, that's you. Today we're talking to all the ladies, amantombazana, abanonyana, damas. There are two ways in which women have been removed from their power, from knowledge of self, from truly knowing what it means when they say we are creators, we hold creative energy within us. Those two ways. One is the menstrual cycle, and two, oh, crikey. Oh my goodness. Okay. One is the menstrual cycle, and two is the expression of our sexual nature, of our, let me just say, sexual intimacy, how we express ourselves thereof. And the smartest way, the most beautiful way that they did this to remove us from our power is they made it seem like God has deemed it so. I remember some years ago I took on the task when I was being, what's the word? Is it trained? When I was becoming. And so I was being shown a lot of truth about religion and all the detail that, yes, you've been, ooh, darlings, today, homemade lemonade. Just cut up some lemons, put them in a pot, boil it up, voila. Oh, add sugar, syrup, honey, whichever one's your thing, and then here we are. Keep the pulp, live cultures. Yes, because the I Am She series is about loving yourself as a woman and loving taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself, being your best lover. I liked to do things for myself as well. Things that say I am worthy of taking the time to nurture myself, to take care of myself, to make sure that I have all of the things that I need. So I wanted to share how one can reclaim their power, because one of the things that is holding us back as a society is the fact that us women are not in our power. And our power is not about telling people off or, oh gosh, our power comes from us having dominion over the expression of our sexuality, and also knowing the power that comes with our menstrual cycle. It blew my mind when the story I just stopped myself about when I was becoming and I was being taught about religion, etc., etc. And I remember when we were going through the Bible, because we went through it like a book, and it took me 3 times to actually do it in earnest, because I actually could not believe the contents of the Old Testament, how hateful it is. But more than anything was, gosh, so many words dedicated to how people ought to conduct themselves when a woman is on her period, and how a woman ought to conduct herself when she's on her period. And I'll never forget, a couple of years ago, I had a woman who, forgive me, who contacted me wanting to have an encounter. And as we're now going through it, and I remember she said to me, she rings me up one day and she says, yo, hayi umakoti angeke akwazi ukuza. And I said, what do you mean? That means, Makoti is your daughter-in-law, the bride who is married into the family. And he says the makoti, her son's wife, will not be able to come for our get together. And I said to her, but why can't she come? He says, no, I know umakoti ungcolile, which means that makoti is dirty. I said, what do you mean umakoti ungcolile? He says, no, sis, ukuma periods work. She's on her periods. And I said, yo, mama, if there's one person who actually ought to come, that's her, because she is fully in her power. And she needs to learn how to work with that power. But we have been reduced to just being emotional creatures who can't handle themselves when we're on our periods. When more than anything, your periods, first of all, in terms of anything that you are not giving attention to, it will always bring it up. And that's why the emotions during your period are so intense, because ultimately they bring up things that are there. I would often laugh with mother and say to her, it blows my mind that every day there aren't men just randomly dying, being murdered by women. Because periods are a nightmare. They really are a nightmare before you truly understand their power. And they are debilitating. You don't want to do anything. I mean, there are those fortunate amongst us who have very smooth periods. But, oh, no. It's a difficult time. And when mother and I speak about how a woman used to spend her time when she was on her period, and how essentially even her status among society would be higher during that time. Women were deeply revered when they were going through their period, because they knew that they are in direct communion with the Creator, with all that is. And so when you look at the Old Testament and the way that it speaks about the period, I don't know if it is just me, but for me it's so obvious how there was so much fear of women in that time when they're going through their periods, because it's just so full of fear mongering when I read it. And I mean, to isolate women and not to be touched. And for me, all it sounds like is that this creature is so powerful at this time that avoid it at all costs. Don't touch anything it touches, because what the hell will happen? You know what I mean? At the same time, your period is sacred. Don't get me wrong. Your period is very, very sacred. I have this rule that during my period, my body is always mine. But during my period, I share it with absolutely no one. No one. No one gets to share my body during my period, because the purity of the line of communication is unsurpassed. My power and my knowledge of self is unsurpassed. If you keep hating your period, you will keep missing the power that it has to bestow upon you. I will end this here, but I am going to record multiple episodes to teach all of us on how to harness our menstrual cycle power, because it is a very, very powerful thing. All right, darlings. Thank you for your time. I hope that today continues to be an amazing day, and all your days always be amazing, because every day is a good day if you think about it. Love you, darlings. Mwah. I was like, whoa, no kisses, hugs, giggles. Furry kisses, give and receive always. Bye, darlings.